When the camera rolls, nothing hides, especially when someone doesn't want to be on film. From sneaky heists to clever tricks and people completely losing control. Today's video is all about the most unbelievable moments ever caught on camera. In August 2017, a short Uber ride in New York City turned into a viral controversy when a young woman was recorded on the driver's interior camera stealing money from his tip jar. She was riding with two others and, just before getting out, hesitated at first while staring right into the dash cam and quickly grabbed the cash. The driver didn't notice until she was already gone. She later faced a lot of criticism online to the extent that she was asked about it. This is how she responded.
It was $5. I paid him back.
How would you feel if somebody stole $5 from you?
Then I lost $5.
And even this.
You're caught on camera stealing money from an Uber driver. You don't feel sorry.
Honestly, I'm not gonna feel sincere.
Before we start, hit like and subscribe to stay alert, because these strange moments from around the world weren't supposed to exist. Something in the dark? Two lone young women, presumably friends, were spending time together in a remote location. After one of them heard of something nearby, decided to check it out with a flashlight until this happened. Within moments, she returned running and screaming, being completely terrified, though nothing appeared or followed that left her friend confused. After being shown the direction, her friend decided to investigate with a flashlight, but didn't find any at all. It could have been a ghost, or if she was just seeing things, is something that should remain mysterious. Point-blank theft. In a bank somewhere in St. Petersburg, an elderly woman was receiving her monthly pension, only to be targeted by a thief. While she was signing some documents, the thief, who thought he had found a great opportunity to steal, not knowing the angle was completely visible on the CCTV. She used the moment of distraction by using a piece of paper to hide her hand as she stole cash right out of the pensioner's hand before walking away. Pretending customer. From a clothing and everyday apparel shop, this woman, after seeing some spare change lying around outside the cash register, decided to plot, using a bag as a cover while pretending to be an interested customer as well as a distraction. She managed to grab the cash. As smart as she may have thought to herself, but failed to spot the camera that was right in front of her that caught everything. Box mask. Even among all of the cheapest and most easily available options for a face disguise, this one still chose a box as a mask. A burglar who broke into a mobile repair store in Miami Gardens picked a very unusual choice of disguise to hide his face, using a box over his head. While he was busy trashing all over the area for the loot, the box for a moment fell off his head, which he was quick to put back on. That very short moment of his face getting revealed was good enough for the authorities to find and arrest him. Workplace thief. A woman in Chicago was caught on camera while she was stealing from her workplace. After her boss had gone out for a lunch break, she stepped into the office next to the iron shelf before opening the drawer and stole $50,000 in cash and bonds before walking out. She later returned in the evening, once again looking for additional loot when she was walked in on by her boss. She was later caught after this CCTV footage was reviewed. Audacious phone thief. CCTV footage from January 22nd, 2015, at a clothing store in China started to go viral, where a woman boldly made an attempt and stole an iPhone 6. She first enters the shop pretending to be a customer and showing interest only to get the guard down of the shop assistant. After noticing a moment of opportunity, she immediately reached the counter and grabbed the mobile phone with a camera that was looking right at her. Onboard disturbance. During a mid-flight from Florida to Idaho, a woman on board suddenly turned completely insane. She started climbing over the seats, started calling out, and making noise all over the cabin. Even though there were not many passengers on board, it started to turn into worry, as some thought her to be mentally challenged, under the influence of something, or perhaps even possessed, as the cause of this was unknown. Thwarted attempt.
Hi. Currently being...
An unknown woman appeared at a residence with intentions that didn't look to be any good. She attempted to look straight through the glass of the front door to see if anyone was home before attempting anything. However, with the activation of the motion sensor doorbell camera, it not only started recording, but also gave a clear notification of it to this would-be intruder. This instantly spooked her while raising the possibility of the potential presence of homeowners who may be watching her, causing her to immediately turn around and leave. Pickpocket on camera. While shopping at a Walmart, a security guard noticed an unusual moment where an older woman was actively stealing from a younger shopper. She first appeared to be asking for help to reach an item on a high refrigerator shelf, getting the younger woman to look up and focus on what she needed. But while she pointed, her other hand slipped into the younger woman's purse and quietly took the valuables. Later, she can be seen tucking the items into her pocket and walking away, having no clue that the entire thing was caught on camera. Obsessed girl. Uniformed personnel on a beach in New York were seizing and wasting a bottle of booze until a young woman attempted to change that. She jumped in front of the one, dropping it in an attempt to drink some of it in the process. It is unclear if she did it in a joking manner or out of some kind of concern. However, many of the bystanders noticed the moment, and one of them even captured it on his camera. Enraged blonde. A young woman was filmed while she was enraged and damaged the windshield in Modesto, California. Before everyone could accuse her of having gone completely insane, rumor has it that the woman caught her best friend, whom her husband had been cheating with, driving her husband's and her SUV. Getting the news resulted in this confrontation. Compromised cashier. This cashier at a fast food restaurant didn't realize a newly installed security camera had been placed directly above him. While the camera quietly recorded from a former blind spot, he used his phone as cover by setting it on the counter, then slipped a dollar bill underneath and casually put both the phone and the cash into his pocket. His nervous movements and body language suggested this wasn't the first time, and may even be why the camera was installed there in the first place. Cue pickpocketer. Standing and waiting for her turn in a queue to purchase a home electric appliance, a young woman at a mall in California became the target of a pickpocket. The thief, who was smart enough to choose someone alone and unsuspecting, came and stood beside her. Seeing that she was distracted, the thief managed to grab her phone and walk away, unaware that the entire act was caught on camera, and it would only be a matter of time before justice caught up to her. Home robbery. Captured in Buena Nueva, Guaymallén, Argentina, where a group of 3 burglars broke into a residence. They managed to pull apart the whole chunk of the window security grill, where one of them entered to fetch a large screen TV, along with a few other appliances. Minutes later, the group assembled outside once again, before leaving after being in the field of view the entire time. Parking lot vandal. The camera of a parked van caught a moment just outside a mental health clinic, where the van became the victim of a random act of vandalism. The clip showed a young woman with a face mask who approaches the vehicle and starts to scratch all over the front door. While the reason could be anything from provocation to mental illness, she went above and beyond, making it a crime of passion. Hallway heist. Within minutes of the delivery of a package at the front door of an apartment, a passing woman saw it as a potential opportunity. Seeing how no one answered the door immediately to receive it, they decided to steal it despite seeing an active recording. Though her face and body language were already clear here and filmed by the camera, she still decided to go around fetching a broom. Thinking she could keep her face away from the field of view of the camera, she used the broom to sweep the package to steal. Pickpocketing couple. Of all the places and people, they chose an elderly man in a Walmart. A couple who pretended not to be together worked together to steal from the man. One of them first purposely blocked his path, while the other reached for his pocket. Seeing how both of them were caught in the eyes of the camera, and even got the elderly man to get suspicious of the stealing woman, shows the level of carelessness here. Road sign thief. A private property security camera that was facing towards the street where a woman appeared walking stopped abruptly before starting to look around suspiciously. After seeing no one around, proceeded to grab and walk away with a road sign. She grabbed a couple more of them before turning around and leaving in her car. One has to wonder if this theft would even be anywhere near profitable or worth the effort. TSA agent stealing. It's not just outsiders passing by who could be thieves, but also some people with very responsible jobs who may exploit their position, like this TSA agent. While being the only one in charge of inspecting hand carry bags and items in the lineup, he noticed a large amount of cash in one of the wallets. He couldn't stop himself and kept himself busy while trying to steal from it without being seen, pretending he was just doing his job. Despite having to work daily in the same spot, this guy failed to see a camera looking right at him. Shoplifting run. Just when a Jindali baby store was thought to be getting a small crowd of customers in off-peak hours, it turned out to be for the worst. It happened in July 2025, when a group of thieves, including a pregnant woman, came in pretending to be customers until they decided to start shoplifting and grab an expensive luxury pram worth nearly 1,500 Australian dollars before driving away. The camera managed to capture both the faces of the thieves and their vehicle plate number, which were later forwarded to authorities. Meter grabbing attempt.
What did he say?
While in desperate times, the desperate measures are sometimes understandable. This one, however, looked like a terrible idea. On the streets somewhere in Manchester, England, the recorder, along with his pal, was making a stop to pick up an order when they noticed a man, presumably homeless, after he managed to pluck out a parking meter from the pavement, after which he attempted to grab and walk away with it, but was struggling to do so considering its overwhelming weight. ATM heist. The only difference between thieves who know what they are doing and those who don't can be judged in under a minute. Like, take this for instance. Two thieves in the dead of the night picked up a credit union ATM and managed to break it apart, along with the help of a pickup truck. They managed to get away with over $80,000, all of it in under a minute. From the thief to picking up the ATM in an isolated location to the disguise, they seem to have covered their tracks well. Cemetery robber. In February 2023, this security camera footage of a woman carrying flowers on Durham Road Cemetery, Teesside, went viral. She was reported to have stolen flowers from a grave about half an hour after a family placed them to mark the 10th anniversary of the passing. As the news spread of her actions, it wasn't long before authorities eventually tracked her down and arrested her. Halloween candy loot. During the Halloween season back in October 2024, a woman was spotted stealing candies that were meant for kids. Now, it wasn't just a single porch of a house that she stole, but from dozens of them, one after the other, filling a large bag that she brought for the loot. From one of the houses, she even stole a series of lights and was looking around for more easy-to-grab items. From almost every house was collected and shared in hopes of identifying the woman. Brazen breakdown. A dramatic scene took place at the VS Outlet store in Queens Bay Mall, Penang, Malaysia, where a woman who was accused of theft went haywire. She resorted to kicking mannequins and clothing racks one after the other, creating a scene for several minutes before the mall security eventually stepped in and took her away. Convenience store stick-up. On March 21st, 2017, a convenience store on the 3700 block of 12th Street, NE, Washington, D.C., became the target of a burglary. The perpetrator, from the point of entering to, even after having entered the store, forgot to put his mask on. Even so, he proceeded with the robbery and left with a sizable amount. A bounty of $10,000 was put on his head for information that would lead to his arrest. Embarrassing attempt. Around 3 a.m. local time, Charlotte, a group of 4 thieves, targeted an ATM in an isolated location next to a gas station. The group thought they came well prepared, with a plan to use a thick rope attached to a sedan, which was also their planned getaway vehicle. After securing a knot at the locked passageway door of the ATM, they attached it to the weakest possible point on their car. And then this happened. Being overwhelmed by the situation, they decided to leave. Unexpected getaway encounter. This perpetrator was so smart and broke at the same time that he decided to use public transport as a getaway plan. At a bus stop in Newark, New Jersey, a man appeared who was dragging an ATM that he had somehow managed to pluck out and wanted to get on the bus along with it. The bus driver, who obviously didn't want to turn in an accomplice or aid and beat a criminal, closed the doors. Immediately after, he made a tempting offer out of desperation. Breaking and entering. At the time of sunset, 3 burglars broke their way into a mansion by breaking through the mesh of the window. The group can be seen rushing towards a specific spot with bags, proving that they wouldn't settle for anything less than a large loot. However, the homeowner later realized that not much of value was around to be stolen, other than a mobile phone and a laptop. Banned Karen. This isn't your usual obsessed TikTok user, but one who went too far even before being banned. A TikTok user, Natalie Reynolds, was banned from TikTok, which she reacted to by arriving at the headquarters and pleading for accounts of 2.5 million followers to be restored. The very reason why she was banned in the first place was that she made a video of deceiving a mentally ill homeless woman into jumping into a lake by promising her $20 and then running away when she could not swim.
I just broke my ankle, I'm dead.
Wasted youth.
Yo! That's hers? That's her camera?
A woman who had a newly installed CCTV camera just outside her residence out for security reasons, until it started picking up some weird activity. A small group of young men kept on bothering her, doing and acting in all kinds of weird manner that started to leave her concerned.
But don't be calling me no niggas, you know what I'm talking about.
Despite the confrontation by the woman, these young men didn't follow and were rather seeming to be partying just outside her residence.
Don't be calling me no niggas, you know what I'm talking about, but as you out here, you hear it. This your company, handle it.
Weird elevator encounter. A lone elderly woman who was returning to her apartment and was making way up until something scary followed next. The elevator stopped, where a troubled man joined her inside the elevator and looked to be suffering a kind of an episode that left him going haywire. Despite being concerned for herself, the woman managed to stay calm while waiting for the elevator doors to open, allowing all of that to pass. Unusual confrontation. During the late hours at a residence in Brighton, a small group of robbers who made their way in were confronted most unusually. while one of them was sitting inside the vehicle. The other thought of going inside for additional loot when he bumped into the owner and resorted to intimidating them by barking and walking them out. Interestingly, the both of them quickly turned around and left. Enraged pedestrian. A public transport bus that was passing through downtown New York and was stopping at a red light when things took an unexpected turn. An enraged young adult suddenly came onto the bus from the rear entrance as he was upset for reasons unknown and was confronting a person of interest who was on board. Within seconds, he managed to make his way inside before the clip got cut off. Brazen burglars. An hour just before midnight, when a tenant from an apartment noticed 3 burglars who appeared in the hall and were attempting to break into his neighbor's apartment. Instead of doing anything useful to prevent or monitor the situation, he decided to confront them through the speaker of his Ring camera.
Y'all can't be that goddamn dumb.
While they already seemed to be out of options and frustrated, he managed to trigger them and lose his Ring camera at the same time, and in turn, also became the target of the would-be burglars.
Y'all can't be that goddamn dumb.
Trailing unknowns. A guy who had headed out for some important errand when what he noticed made him turn around and get back to the hostel room. In the clip, moments after he rushes back in, it is noticeable a small group of strangers who appear to be wearing some kind of masks step onto the front porch of the place. It is unclear if this was something like a prank or an actual case of mentally challenged strangers. Escalated road rage. This driver who was in the parking lane and was about to drive off until another driver cut his way that immediately enraged him off. He got out and started to unleash himself as the other driver started filming the moment.
I'm sending us to the police here.
After having had enough, the enraged driver got back into his vehicle and drove away, presumably to avoid any trouble from the authorities. Police impersonation. During the late hours of the dark, a homeowner had his front door knocked on several times by 5 people dressed in light-colored clothing who claimed to be police officers.
CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions.
Despite not being in any uniform or having patrol cars anywhere around, they kept their stance for over a minute before the clip ended. According to the homeowner, they disappeared soon after. The clip sparked a concern about a possible break-in attempt by impersonation. Dressed up mermaid. In the middle of the street in New York and broad daylight, an unknown woman dressed up as a mermaid made an appearance. It remained on the ground as if it were completely helpless and pretending to be an actual mermaid. She was quick to gain attention and gather a crowd. Could this be some kind of desperate attempt to get viral and gain some instant fame? Weird man. A family in Hartford, Connecticut was disturbed by what they encountered at their front door. On December 23, 2023, a man appeared outside for hours and on the Ring camera as he was licking the doorbell for 3 hours while staring right into the camera. The randomness and obsession of the situation is what left them creeped out and a cause of safety concern, as it would be for anyone. Annoyed dwarf. While a teenager was playing and practicing his trumpet in a narrow smoking alley in New York City, until an annoyed small man started confronting him unprovoked.
No! No!
A bystander who happened to be passing by stopped and started recording as the little old man kept on flipping out on the young guy and was attempting to discourage him in every possible way.
Get out!
Mentally ill or possessed.
Yeah.
It's not just the late hours when trouble seems to come up to the door, but even during broad daylight. A doorbell camera clip dating to September 2nd, 2024, was shared by a homeowner showing an unknown man who randomly appeared outside the door and started knocking. What was most terrifying about it was that he was talking to himself in different voices, where one of them even sounded demonic.
Yeah, I'm here.
The demonic sound that was coming from within the man also seemed to be controlling or influencing his movement, and could be heard coming out even without his lips following. He knocked and stood there for several minutes before walking away. Hospital thief. On March 18th, 2025, a family visiting Machacos Level 5 Hospital discovered that their relative's phone had gone missing. While in the midst of the search, they decided to use the CCTV camera footage only to notice a man who was holding it in his hand and was walking away. They are now asking the public to help identify him, and after filing a report, police informed them that the suspect may have targeted several hospital visitors before and was trying to identify and locate the man. Invisible opponent. From a first-floor window in a building in Toledo, Ohio, a man was seen acting strangely and unpredictably. To most people, his behavior would suggest he was either under the influence or struggling with a mental health issue, as he appeared to react intensely to something that wasn't visibly there. The person recording the scene wasn't certain, but felt the man seemed to be responding to movement, almost as if he were confronting an unseen figure. After pacing around the parking lot and continuing his unusual reactions, the man eventually walked away as if nothing had happened. Young Karen. A man was returning home when a young woman, who for reasons unknown, followed him to his door and was filming him, calling him a creep.
I'm not even from.
As her boyfriend arrived on the scene to investigate, Karen couldn't handle arguing her case, was quick to get aggressive and confront the man not once, but several times, even after her boyfriend had stepped in, and the man warned of calling the police if they didn't behave.
Hey, what are you doing?
Something is wrong with this woman. Normal people just don't behave like this. Weird subway man. On April 7th, 2025, subway passengers in New York were startled by a man behaving in a very unusual way. He was seen crawling on the floor of a subway car while making sounds similar to a snake, which made several people uncomfortable and caused some to move away from him. The man was recorded in 2 separate moments, saying he identified himself as a snake, adding to the confusion of those around him. His identity is still unknown, and the incident has left many people unsure of what to make of it. Some wonder if it was a strange attempt at a stunt, while others think it could have been a serious mental health episode rather than something supernatural. The video has definitely reached its end. I will see you again with another WoW video. Until then, you can check out these other videos for a WoW dose of entertainment and knowledge.